Okay, so I've got, yeah, like I said, the left-hand window here is the public or player view, and the right-hand side is the arbiter view. So what I'll do is just, we've created an event, we've published it. You can see in the URL that it's a private link, so we could have it public for the whole world to see, or you can make it private and just share that link, on your own website or something. So this is a private tournament. Players come here, they click enter event. They can have multiple players on their profile. So I'm just going to register myself and all of my children, and I'll put some of them into different divisions. So maybe I'll play in the under 10s with my oldest kids, and then the younger kids will play in the under 10s. So we've now registered for that tournament. Okay, so now when I come to this page, I'm registered. In the arbiter view, we do have to refresh the page to actually see the entries. But there you go. Now I've got 2 entries in the under 8s and 3 entries in the under 10s. Okay, so yeah, at the moment, there's some refreshing going on. Data isn't necessarily pushed automatically. All right, the next step would then be, players kind of log into the Zoom meeting, mark the role so that we know who's present. Or we could have 2 Zoom windows open, and you can have different arbiters marking the role on different sides of the table.
So you require, sorry to interrupt, so you require each and every player to join with Zoom as well?
At the moment, that's what we're doing, yeah. We're asking every single player to join in with Zoom and to kind of connect with us so that we can demonstrate that there's communication.
Okay.
By next week, the public user, when they get to that page, it says here you are entered into the tournament, add another player. We'll also put a button which says, register that you're here. And then they'll click that button, and then we know that they're present. Okay, so at the moment, the arbiter has to say, okay, tournament started, and then the players will have to refresh their page just once to get into the tournament. But yeah, by next week, we'll have a button on this page where the players registered last week. They come to the page, they click sign in now or something like that, and now we know that they're present. We're also going to do some Zoom integration when we can. Like, that won't be next week, but that'll be in the very near future. So I guess if you wanted to kind of think, what's possible. Well, can you imagine a player coming in there and there's a window within the pairings or within the tournament view, which has a video of the arbiter, live broadcast. I don't know exactly what Zoom can do in terms of embedding into other programs, but we're going to do as tight an integration as we can to give that kind of real world experience. So yeah, at the moment, players, we are asking them all come onto Zoom and send us a text chat or a voice chat or something like that to interact with us in some way. Just the same as when you would show up at a big hall and you've got 500 players playing in the tournament. All of them would need to come up to you at some point and kind of say, hey, I'm here, so that you can mark their name off, and you're not pairing people into the first round that aren't there. All right, so I'll now just pair the first round. Okay, so we're going to pair the first round, and we've got all the usual sort of tournament options. So the first round.
And you have FIDE pairing rules in it, or do you guys have separate Australian chess rules? I'm sorry, it might be a stupid question.
No, good question, and keep asking those questions. I think that's great. That's great for me to be able to answer them. So Tornelo has its own pairing algorithm, which is an approximation of the FIDE pairing rules, and that's the default that it uses. You can change the default pairing engine from Tornelo to YavaFo, and YavaFo is the FIDE approved pairing engine. Tornelo itself is not FIDE approved, but we use the YavaFo engine, which is the engine that is inside Vega and a couple of other pairings programs. So you can use that as an engine to run the pairings if you wanted to. We have our own pairings engine more for inter-school events. So FIDE rules don't let you manually manipulate pairings. The FIDE rules are extremely kind of strict.
Yeah.
When we're running kids tournaments, we want to make sure that, you know, if it's a teams event, an inter-school event is our main reason, we don't want players from the same school to play against each other. And so, you know, a FIDE pairings engine isn't allowed to do that. So we have to have our own pairing engine that can manage that. It's an approximation. It's definitely not going to give you exactly the same results as you know, as a FIDE pairing engine. But if that's important, you know, if you're running a tournament that you want to be you know, USCF rated, or it's you know, a longer time control tournament, you can just, it's easy in the settings. You just change your pairing engine, you make it YavaFo. It runs the pairings on the server, so it's like an extra 2 seconds of delay to do the pairings, but yeah, fundamentally not a big issue.
Okay.
So pairings are done. This is the round 1 pairings. You can have different things going in different tournaments. So, you know, the under 8s maybe haven't started yet. The under 10s, yep, we're underway. So once the tournament is started, at the moment, like I said, until next week, we've got the player has to just press refresh. So as a player, I go, oh yeah, cool, the tournament started. I'm going to reload this page. And as a parent, I've got multiple players. I've got 4 children of my own, so I've got all these players, you know, to choose from. So if you are a parent with multiple siblings, you can register multiple siblings, and you know, when they log in, it's like, well, who are you? Where are you playing? So I'll just see what Oliver gets to see. So now, as a player, I've got this live event page, and everything that happens is just automatically pushed to this page. So you'll see as we do things in the Arbiter view, it automatically just pushes through to the to this page. So let's say, for example, I do the pairings for the under 8s. We'll do the pairings for the under 8s. Now the round 1 tab has popped up, and you can see the pairings for the under 8s. If I put a result in, so let's say Ari wins that game, he'll be angry if I don't let him win that game. The result pops up for the player. So you can be running the tournament, managing it as an arbiter, and everything's just popping up automatically. Now we're logged in on the left-hand side as Oliver, and Oliver has a game to play. So he's paired against me, which is nice to see. So he'll click play now, and anytime a new game comes up, there'll be a play now button. He'll click play now, and he's into this game. He'll wait for his opponent to jump into a game, and you'll see the little green connection icon now means his opponent's in the game as well. So now it's just a matter of playing the game. So Oliver will start the game, and it just plays like any game. I've got this time control set up with, I think it's 2 minutes plus a 2 second increment. So you can have, it's 2 minutes plus 2 second increment. You can have any, you know, any increment you like. So the game just plays as normal. I will give you the lookout sort of, you know, you'll notice that this is not the same quality of game experience as chess.com or Lichess at the moment, but, you know, this is kind of 2 weeks worth of work. So, you know, we only started this, you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we're missing like a few obvious things, like you can't resign, you can't offer a draw. By next week, some of those key things will be there, and then we'll keep working on it as we can. Like I'd like to have in this game window a call arbiter button, and the call arbiter button will pause the clocks, and the arbiter will be flagged, and then the arbiter can come in and observe what's going on and say, yeah, like this is you know, this is what stalemate is, or yeah, your opponent didn't cheat, that was en passant, this is how it works. So, you know, give that full experience to the players, and don't kind of leave them sitting at home, you know, in isolation playing their game, and go, well, just tell me when the tournament's finished, which is kind of what we're seeing on some of those other platforms, which are, you know, just brilliant. You know, I've got, you know, absolutely highest regard for ChessKid, for chess.com, and for Lichess. They're like fantastic playing platforms. It's just a different experience from a face-to-face experience. So let's say Oliver, before he loses on time, actually manages to win this game, checkmate. So you'll notice game's over, checkmate, yeah, he's won. Over here in the results, that will come through automatically when it goes into the pairings program. Just for performance reasons, temporarily, we've put a short delay, so there'll be a 30 to 60 second lag between when the game finishes and when the pairings program gets updated. And then you'll see, as soon as the pairing program gets updated, the result will just pop up into, into this live system. We've just done that for performance reasons while we're just, making sure that our servers can handle everything. So if I just refresh that page, yeah.
I remember before, one of the attractive things was being able to look at the games that were played. People on the outside could watch, parents could watch their kids' games being played, that kind of thing. And at that time, we were talking about like a live environment if we were putting the game in or something like that. But as you mentioned, it would be really cool if you finish your game and then you go to the breakout room, and then a coach in the breakout room can, review your game just like if you were playing in a regular tournament. Can the coach pull up the game like that?
Absolutely. So you can actually view all games in the tournament. So like you can see as the arbiter, I've got this game view here, and I can now go through and just analyze that game with players. At the moment, we don't have spectator views, so the players can't spectate other people's games. But again, that's one of the features that we've got on the roadmap for next week. So for next week, we want to have like the basic things like, be able to offer a draw and resign, because at the moment, if you can't offer a draw or resign, you've got to kind of flag the arbiter. So it's a little annoying this week, but next week it'll be okay. And then some features for the players, which make it really cool for them, where they can then observe other people's games, and it's, everybody can watch all the games happening live, online anytime. And so, everything that you see is all completely in the cloud. So there's nothing hosted locally at all. So if my computer dies, I'll just jump onto a different computer and continue on. If I want to do this from a phone, I can do it from a phone or an iPad or any sort of device. So the whole pairings program is all completely online, and therefore all the data is instantly shared with everybody. So if it's a private event, you give a private link, only the parents can go and view it, and then they can view games.
And then I see the download PGN, and that's something that the coach could just drop it into ChessBase so that they can look at it there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll just show you, like, Tornelo keeps player profiles. So this is my son Oliver here. He's been playing chess for a long time. So he's got every tournament he's played in since back in 2011. Every tournament that we've run. Obviously, as my son, he shows up to a lot of chess tournaments, or gets dragged along to a lot of chess tournaments as well. So all of his tournament history is here. He's got some interesting stats. Every tournament that he's played is here. His full rating history is automatically published, and his view games. This is his database of every game that he's played. Now, before today, where games weren't being played online, in order to put the game in, he would have had to enter it manually. But here's his game. So the players actually get their own repository of games. So you don't even need to download it and put it into ChessBase and try and keep track of where you've got that file. This is a game that he played against this kid whenever that happened, however many years ago. So it's so Tornelo keeps all the games forever. Obviously, you coaches can just download PGNs. So from an arbiter's perspective, some of the key things, obviously we can do pairings. So Oliver won that game. That's been pushed through automatically into the results. We can now pair the next round, and it will pop up automatically on the left-hand side here. You've got a new game against Elijah, and he can click play game and then get into the next game. So the whole experience for the player from here on in is just, you sit on this window, you can scroll around and you can check out who's winning, you can see what's going on. It'll have a play now button when you're ready to play, and as soon as you're ready to play, you just jump into your game, and then you can just disconnect from a game whenever you want to. The arbiter, you can see the arbiter has these little connected icons, so you can see if Oliver jumps into his game, you see he's now green, and you know that Elijah's not sitting at his board yet. Like, Elijah, where are you? What are you doing? And I look around the house and go, oh, he's playing on his phone over there. I better get him off his phone and get him onto his tournament match. So,
okay, gotcha. Yeah.
You can manage that as an arbiter. I guess other key things for arbiters, just you've just run a tournament with 80 players. You want to do some marketing for them. So there's an export entries button, and when you click that, you get all of the email addresses and phone numbers and everything that the parents have added. Because this was set up for face-to-face tournaments, we ask for a phone number so that if you're kind of supervising children in a room, you want to make sure that that you know the parent's phone number if there is an emergency. So we just store that basic information inside here. But Tornelo is kind of a platform. We don't own your email addresses. We don't email people from Tornelo. Like the arbiter for this tournament, whoever owns that tournament is the owner of that data. So yeah, you can download your email addresses. You can do whatever you want with them, and Tornelo is never going to spam them, about some promotional activity or something like that.
Great.
Obviously, players can also disconnect and then reconnect, and their game would still be in progress. So that's from a player's perspective what can happen. But yeah, I mean, that's it's kind of like then the tournament just runs and you continue on for the rest of the the tournament.
Simple enough, huh?
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess. What questions do you have?
No, I mean that's good. I mean, I'm trying to figure out different options for our program and look at the different features that are out there. I like the fact that if two kids in a tournament, one of them hasn't started making his moves yet. If I've got them in a breakout room in Zoom or something like that, I can say, hey, get off your phone or whatever and get back to playing your game. It's time to start playing. Yeah. And then I really like the feature where if we can look over their games, then that's really fantastic. If I can immediately just can do that. And I don't know all the features with Chess Kid and chess.com, and maybe it's just as easy to do it there, but I'm going to learn more about that tomorrow when Judith shares more in her webinar.
So yeah, so when you're in this online as an arbiter here, I can just click view games, and now I'll have all the games for the whole tournament. So it's all just stored there. So if we had other games, there'd just be this list of all of the games here. And so both. Can you see
the other games live?
You can see it's at the moment it's a 30-second delay for performance reasons. But okay. Yeah, by next week. So this is just brand new. Like this is just 2 weeks worth of work. Like I said, by next week you will be able to observe all the games. So those are the key features that we want to have ready for next Saturday. So today we're running an 84 player tournament online. Yesterday we ran 30, and the day before we ran 10. So we've been building up to larger events. And as we're more confident that our server architecture isn't going to cause lots of lag or issues for players, then we're reducing the sort of lag between the live games. So by next week, I'm pretty confident you'll be just able to observe any game that's in progress. Arbiters can watch them all. Players can watch each other's games. It'll all be real time.
And what are you charging them about? And are there prizes or things like that? Incentives?
So yeah, like Tornelo itself as a pairings program and game server and all the rest of it is free. So if you or Judith or anyone else in the US or the world wants to use it, it's just there and it's free. And so we're pretty keen to get people out and about and continuing to play chess tournaments. We're going to run all our school classes through here as well, because again, it's just easier. Like you've just done a class, in a small group. You send them a link to the tournament. You play your tournament game. Come back next week, and you can continue on the tournament game. And so, usually in a school group, we're playing one round of the competition each week, and it's like, how do you manage that, somewhere else? So it's just like it's easy. We just send it to them. And of course, for us, we've also got a rating system behind it. So all of our players are keen for their ratings to keep changing every tournament. For this event, we've charged the players 10 Australian dollars. So that's about $6 US at the moment. Maybe used to be about 7 or 8, or 7 or 750, I think it was, and now it's about 550 or 6. So yeah, we're charging them kind of that $5 to $7. It's about 25% of what we had been charging for a face-to-face experience. That was for a test run. We've already scheduled one for a month's time, and we're charging 50% of what we would charge for a face-to-face tournament. And I think we'll probably end up, moving towards, 75% as we can provide, a better and better experience for the players.
And what about awards for the kids? Are there awards besides seeing the rating go up?
So not at the moment, no. So we've only got we've just got, like I said, we're just doing these as a test run with 80 players tomorrow. That's it's a 25% of normal entry fee cost, and there are no prizes at all. We're trying to work out how do we offer prizes. Like we ran an event yesterday for the Melbourne Chess Club, and they were they were asking can we how are we going to do prizes? Is it going to be is it going to be like credits to play in future tournaments? Like I think you can't do cash prizes. And for kids events, I mean, you don't do cash prizes anyway, but you might do, certificates and awards. We might do digital certificates that they can download.
Right, badges, or give them a badge.
That's right. You've got some fantastic badges. So we might be able to do that sort of thing just internally within Tornelo. We haven't worked that out yet. That's kind of tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Just curious, yeah.
But yeah, that's
all right. Very good.
Yeah. Any other things that you guys want to know about how this is all set up and working at the moment?
Yeah, well, I am curious, just as an organizer of after-school programs and things like that, about how people are responding to this break in the action and moving online, and what percentage of your students are not participating in the online right now.
Yeah, so I don't know yet, because we're kind of on this semester break.
Right.
It's come at that time where we were pretty much through our enrollment period. We were right to the end of that enrollment period, so there was just 1 week where the schools were in shutdown that the students had paid for, and we didn't miss a class, but we noticed that the numbers in those classes were significantly lower. But I can't tell you in terms of re-enrollments. We don't open those enrollments for 2 weeks still, because that's when schools are going to. At the moment, it's just too uncertain. So at the moment, we have said that we're open for enrollments, but nobody's doing it because they don't know whether school's going to happen or not, and they've never seen an online class. So yeah, we're really just not sure. Like it's just a bunch of uncertainty at the moment for us.
We have a system, our enrollment system allows me to look at the classes and see the ages of the students like that. And so I can see right away that our 5- and 6-year-olds are not jumping into the online. And I think it's because the parents feel, number one, that they have to be there with them to help them through it, or that they're concerned with them being online and the parents don't want to be there. And then number two, that they're intimidated by the technology of it for their kid, and they maybe, is my kid gonna be able to handle doing chess online? And I mean, and for us, that's a real thing. Obviously, I love doing my higher level classes where I can say, okay, throw your answer into the chat window, and then I can make it so that the answers only come back to the panelist and the host, and so the kids can't see the other answers